Hey, this is Rachel Bowen from Skid Row, and you are watching CMS TV. Yeah.
It's Kim Dracula right here on your classic metal.
Kim Dracula.
Kim Dracula featuring Jonathan Davis of Korn.
I can't say I'm familiar with Kim Dracula. I like the tune though.
Yeah, I thought maybe you would like it. That was actually a request from one of our fans out there, John from Easter, or John Easter from Virginia.
Well, good call, John. Can't say I'm familiar with Kim Dracula, but okay. Cool.
Yeah, look it up. Kim Dracula.
Kim Dracula. Is there an album?
That's the single as far as I can tell.
Well, liked it.
Yeah, I figured since you're a Korn fan, you would enjoy that.
I do like Korn. That's
all
for
that
sure.
Noise.
Yeah, you don't like it, do you?
Not my thing. I am just not into that whole, mix. The way that just that screaming and then the blast.
Waka, waka, waka.
So, yeah, not my cup of tea. But hey, they had a good run there in the early to mid 2000s there.
Yeah, they're still running.
They're still early, or actually the mid 90s rather.
They're still running. They're still fucking big.
Yeah. Korn, Follow the Leader.
That's a great record. That is
Korn.
That is their best record to me.
Yeah. So anyway, still no James, huh?
Nope, no James, no contact. I guess he forgot. I'll hit him back. We'll get him next week or later or whenever.
Oh, he had his one chance. He's banned from the show now.
Oh no. I want the radical guys. I'll give 50 chances.
Sure.
It's the boring ones I don't want to give multiple chances to, because you give them multiple chances and then they underperform.
Right, exactly.
Kotak will perform. I know it. He'll come on and just be like, motherfucking fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, what do you have on your plate there?
I have lots. Lots of fun stuff, but I'm going to start with one of our favorite bands.
All right.
Y&T.
Yeah, I saw. I get their little newsletter, their little news blurb pops up in my mailbox all the time. And, Dave Meniketti, obviously the sole member of Y&T these days, and he is obviously the voice and probably the most recognizable member of the band,
right?
And he's still out there performing as Y&T with his Y&T juggernaut. Obviously they have quite a deep catalog, and they've had their fair share of hits, and they've been around since I think 74,
something like that. Yeah, long time.
Yeah, I think 74 was like when Y&T first launched, though. They're coming up on their 50 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, since you get the news blurb, do you read them all the time, or do you just kind of see it and you just kind of skip through it?
I saw something about them playing a sold out show or something.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one I want to bring up, but not because of that. I love Y&T. Love them.
I know you've been to several shows, and Dave Meniketti's been on this show a few times.
Of course, I've seen 2 different last shows we're ever going to play of Y&T.
Right.
2 times I saw him say, "This is the last show we're ever going to play," and they're still going 30 years after the fact.
Right? No, this is the last show that we're ever going to play with this current lineup.
Yeah, that could be it. But I got this one that came out today.
Yeah, it popped up in my mailbox. I didn't read through it, but I did get the gist of it.
Well, the second paragraph, I thought, and again, I'm prefacing this again by saying I love this band. So I'm not trying to hammer them, but this is such a pretentious thing to say. I can't believe it came out of the Y&T camp.
Okay.
Let me put this on the screen. The premise, basically, what's going on with Y&T is that, why can't I get it on the screen? Hold on. Well, shit. Why won't it come on the screen? Fuck. Hold on. Anyway, the basic premise to this whole thing is that Y&T cannot afford to tour. That's what he put out there, that because of the costs of touring, they're canceling all their tours in Europe and the US.
All right.
For the year.
Okay.
So, and that's fine. I get it. You know, I understand. But what he says to do instead, and I'm saying him, it's probably his people, is ridiculous. Look at this. Due to the escalated costs of touring these days, unfortunately, Y&T will not be able to do a full-on tour this year in the U.S., Europe, or U.K. To get your Y&T fix in 2023, you might want to plan a vacation to include a U.S. Y&T show or two. Okay. So he's saying basically, you need to plan your vacation around our tour.
Yeah, you need to travel to us.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. It is the way of the world today, but come on. That's a bad look, don't you think?
I agree. I mean, again, I don't know what kind of money Y&T commands. You know, I don't know what their ask is.
I don't know,
but you know, obviously there are bands out there, be it Lita Ford or Firehouse or Dokken or even Stephen Piercy, you know, that they do go out and play shows, and you know, their price, whatever that might be, in the $20,000 range for some, apparently is enough to cover their costs to, you know, get flights, rooms, do a fly-in date, which is way most, you know, bands do it these days.
Right.
I don't know if Y&T's asking price or whatever it is that they command for a show is enough to cover that.
No, I have no disagreement that that's a thing. My thing is, they're not a big enough band to be saying, hey, book your tour or book your vacation around our gigs.
Yeah, you come to us.
Yeah, I mean, Guns N' Roses or Metallica or something? Yeah, okay. U2? Rolling Stones? Okay. Y&T? Has Y&T ever been that big of a band?
I think they're kind of gearing that to the hardcore, the cult following of Y&T. You know, I don't know. And what are the tour dates? I mean, are they playing just U.S. dates, or
let's see.
Are they playing sporadic dates? What are they doing?
Y&T band. I don't even know what their website is. Y&T, and is this wiki or is this the page? Where's their page? Here it is. Well, let's find out where they're playing. Y&T.
Now, see, like that Fox Theater, that's up in their neck of the woods. So they could probably just drive over there where, you know.
Yeah. All the dates are in California.
Oh, okay.
It's except one. There's Fox Theater, there's Rockland, California, there's Reno, Nevada, Agora Hills, San Juan Capistrano, and Montclair.
Okay. So some Southern California dates and some Northern California dates.
Yeah.
Because Reno is like a 2-hour drive from Sacramento.
Over the mountain. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. But if you want to go see them, just plan your vacation around Y&T dates.
Yeah. Well, what they're saying is we're playing in California, so make a California vacation and come out and see the show.
Yeah, I guess. Good point, Killer Miller. Like those rude people expect you to go to their destination wedding. Yeah, exactly.
That would never happen.
No.
First of all, me attending a wedding is it had either better be a family member or somebody very close and far and few in between.
Yeah.
Destination wedding, fuck you.
Yeah. Weddings suck anyway.
Unless you're picking up the tab.
Yeah.
You know.
Here, fly to Hawaii for the wedding. No, not coming to Hawaii for your wedding. Fuck off. You know, yeah, no matter who it was for me, I wouldn't care. If it's my own family, I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah, tell me how it was. Send me a video.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I saw this thing from Y&T and I was like, come on, dude. That is such a bad look. to tell your fans that they have to come and plan their life around you.
Yeah, well, we're not going to be able to branch out in your direction, so you'll just
so come on over to us. You know, we can't afford it, but you must be able to.
No, if you're going to vacation anyway, you might as well just make it over here.
Well, it doesn't say that, though. It says you might want to plan a vacation to include.
True.
It's basically saying, here's the dates.
Yes.
Now you can book your vacation around us.
Right.
And again, for the third time, love the band, hate the way this was phrased.
Well, I guess it's just a way of saying, hey, kids, you're not going to see us this year unless you come out and see us, what we're playing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was something to look at, and just was like, oof, that's not a. Normally, Meniketti's his social media people are way better than that.
Right.
That just came off really kind of shitty, I thought. But
okay, fair enough.
So that's one thing.
All right.
Cross that off the list. All right, let's see. What do I got on my little listy list here? I'll give you some choices and you can pick. How's that?
Okay.
The two big stories of the week, as I see them, are Ace Frehley's demand for an apology.
Well, I did want to talk about that.
Well, then let's start there.
Well, what else? The other choice?
Eddie Trunk's continued rambling about backing tracks.
Well, since they're both related, we might as well jump in with the Ace.
All right. Yeah, that'll work. All right, let me go to the story here. Open the link. I'll put it on the little screen here. So, are you aware of this story, or did you?
I am aware of the story.
What kind of bullshit is going on in the Kiss camp that this is a thing?
When I read this, did I not make the comment, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? I can't remember, when we were talking about the end of the road tour, the final shows being booked. And I think we were discussing, do you think Ace and Peter will be a part of one of those shows? And
you did.
If the price is right. And what did he say in this article? It was a money negotiation thing.
Right.
And he say something to that effect?
He did, yeah.
So I wasn't too far off. I just kind of knew that there was probably a money component involved with, whether Ace or Peter or any one of the former Kiss members will be, involved in one of the final shows.
Mm-hmm. Well, looks pretty good. Like it ain't going to be Ace. But this whole thing about threatening to I'm gonna unleash a manifesto. What is this? The fucking Unabomber?
Yeah, a manifesto.
I have a manifesto of shit.
I mean, at this point, these guys are 70 something years old, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, for all intents and purposes, aside from Kiss being the juggernaut that they are, their career, their performing career is, is over. I mean, it's nostalgia now. So is there anything that Ace could unleash the fury is going to hurt or destroy Gene or Paul?
Right.
I mean, seriously, I mean, it's controversy. Yeah. And they go, oh my God, did you hear that? It's like, but the Kiss fans are going to go, oh, is that right? Fuck Kiss. I'm never going to go see one of their last shows. Screw that.
Yeah, please.
Unless, of course, you're Jackal.
Yeah. Or Mark Striegel.
Yeah.
He's going. My point is, who cares? At this point, dude, what do you think could possibly be in this manifesto? It's got to be the same stuff that Rachel Gordon was saying, right?
She talked about the gay activities and shit going on.
Yeah, about them sucking each other's cocks and stuff.
Getting banged in the ass or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, what really could there what do you think the big secret is? Do you think that he's gonna reveal? First of all, I don't think he'll I don't believe the story. First of all, he made it sound like it was a fucking, plot from like a spy movie or something.
Right.
He said something like, well, I've put it in a vault and I've got my agent in case something happens to me and I get killed.
Yeah. I told him, release this only under these circumstances.
So they better not try any funny business with me.
I'm James Bond Frehley.
Yeah, it's like what is going on? Are we now saying that Gene is a murderer? Is that what we're implying?
Yeah, he worked for the Mossad.
Is Gene somehow under the employ of the Clintons or something?
He was one of those Israeli terrorist assassins.
Yeah, he may be.
Yeah,
he may be. But where's that at in this story? That's like, let's see. Well, let's just read from.
We'll take a phone call first. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
I think Ace Frehley should stand up for himself, because what Paul Stanley said on Howard Stern was shit.
Well, there's nothing wrong with standing up for himself, Tim. But does he need to talk like he's secret agent man?
Well, I mean, look, the bottom line is, and yeah, were Ace Frehley and Peter Chris absolute fuck ups in Kiss when they were in Kiss? Yes, they were. Right?
Okay.
But the reality is that Ace Frehley's been far more musically active since 2009 than Kiss have been.
Well, so?
And he's been well, you know, he's released a ton of material. You know, Kiss did 2 albums with Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer, and you know.
Well, the difference is, Tim, is Kiss doesn't have to release material. The thing is Ace has to work. I get the impression that Ace has to work. I don't think that he can just retire. I think Ace plays and records and because he has to.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right about that. But I mean, the reality is that those guys have been playing out on Peter Chris and Ace Frehley for years because it suits their narrative.
Okay.
And they want to justify. And I get the brand thing, and I completely understand it. But they want to justify why they've got Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer up there in the makeup, which Kiss do own because Peter Chris and Ace Frehley sold it.
So you're basically making both sides of the argument, Tim. Well, he's got a point, but then again, they own it.
They got a point too.
They got a point too, but not really because.
Yeah, no, but look. Yeah, but the thing is.
Yes, Tim. What is the thing?
80% of Kiss's current set list is all music that the 2 original members were involved in.
Okay.
So what?
And when he was asked about why they didn't play at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he said, "Oh, we may as well have been called Piss."
Okay.
Right? Which is completely insulting and demeaning to the original band, without which you wouldn't have a career in the first place.
Well, but the thing is if again, we don't know the inside. I mean, Chris and I just alluded to this in the last segment where, you know, things are said and reported to appease the audience, but that isn't always really the story. So we have no idea whether Ace or Peter Chris, were capable of putting on a good performance at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I think what Paul Stanley might have been alluding to is that these guys were not in any shape to do our brand justice by playing a live gig at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think that's kind of what he was alluding to without actually saying it.
I just think that every single opportunity those 2 guys have, they'll use any opportunity to basically tarnish their legacy.
Well, but hold on, Tim. Hold on just for a minute. And I'm going to play devil's advocate on this, and I'm going to believe I actually stand by this. Ace quit Kiss, correct? Twice.
Yep.
Why in the hell would you expect the leader of a band or the leader of any company to just forgive that? Why would you expect him to be nice? Why would you expect him to be nice about a guy that abandoned his project not once, but twice, and talked just as much shit when he left Kiss? Why is it that Paul, and I don't even like Paul Stanley, so I'm not a Paul, I'm not a Kiss guy. But why is it that you would expect Paul Stanley, who's been insulted twice publicly by Ace Frehley, to just forgive and forget and not be bitter when he's asked questions about Ace?
Well, when has Ace Frehley publicly insulted Paul Stanley ever?
When he quit the band.
He quit the band. That doesn't mean he publicly insulted him.
I'm quite sure he did.
There's been barbs traded back and forth on both sides over the years, Tim. One side isn't totally innocent on this.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right. I guess
You're just a Kiss fan that's mad that you're not going to get the reunion. That's what it is.
I don't care if I get the reunion or not. I saw the reunion in 1997. I don't care. That's not the point. The point is, I don't know. I guess I just don't like to see these entities, who came along together and succeeded together, all arguing. And Motley Crue's the bloody same too. So
yeah, fuck those guys. I'm throwing my entire catalog of both Motley and Kiss in the trash. Screw those guys.
Motley Crue are a bunch of liars too. They've become what they never said they'd become. And we'll never tour without the original lineup. You're full of shit, Nicky Six. Hail and kill.
Wow. What?
Tim
is disillusioned with his heroes.
Tim.
He is disillusioned with his heroes.
I expect him to say, I always thought John 5 was great.
Yes.
That's what I always expected.
I knew he would always be a great fit for the band, even before they even suggested it.
From the day I heard of him, he was really the fifth member of the crew in my mind.
Of course.
Yeah. And Tim still didn't answer the question. The real question, it's one thing. I'm okay. And again, not that my opinion matters for Dick, but I'm just fine with the fact that Ace is like, man, those guys were real dicks on Howard Stern. I'm okay with that. He should answer that. What I'm not okay with is the whole manifesto bullshit.
Yeah, I'm holding something over your head, pal, and unless I get a apology within 24 hours, I'm raining blood on this.
Because let's play this out now. So you and I both know 1,000% there is 0% chance that Paul Stanley is going to come on to any platform on Monday and apologize to Ace Frehley.
Nope.
That is not going to happen.
Nope.
So now what? So now Ace pushed his own hand and he's going to have to release this manifesto. And then what? So Ace, who we've already established has to work, is going to now go into battle with Gene Simmons?
Right.
In court? Gene just got $11 million for selling his place. He's got plenty of fuck you money to fuck with Ace. It's like he dug himself into a bad hole with this. Yeah. So now he's going to either have to release it and deal with legal, or he's going to have to eat shit and not release it and get asked about it in every interview that he does as he releases this new album.
So Ace, what was this bombshell that you were going to drop?
Oh, I can't talk about it because of my lawyers.
Right.
And that's going to be the answer. The lawyers are going to shut it down. So, I don't know. I just see this whole story as ridiculous, don't you?
I agree.
Anyway, I don't know if you wanted to read through this thing or not, but Do you want to read it or no?
Yeah, I can read it.
All right, you read it.
During an appearance earlier today on Wednesday, March 29th on Sirius XM The Nation with Eddie Trunk, Ace blasted Paul for comments saying, you know what it is? It's Paul's frustration and insecurity that he has to use backing tapes. Is that his frustration?
I think it's one of them.
Okay. And we're only 6 months apart, and I could still get up there and belt it out. Well, your vocal styles are way different than Paul's. You don't sing the way Paul sings.
Yeah, and he hasn't been singing for 50 fucking years either. Yeah, I mean, he sang in the first 10 years of Kiss, he sang what, one song a night?
Yeah. You know, and Paul Stanley has that upper register, which, you know, as we know with singers that have the upper register type vocals, be it a Tom Kiefer or a Jeff Tate or a Don Dokken or those people, their voices got trashed.
Yeah.
They're trashed.
Yeah, I know. There's nothing left at this point for any of them.
I mean, after 40 years of belting it out like that, night after night after night, it's trashed.
Yeah, it's done. It's over.
Yeah, it's tough.
Especially after 10,000 shows or whatever it is.
Exactly. But anyway, and we're only 6 months apart. I can still get up there and belt it out and hit the keys, and he can't. Yeah, but again, you don't sing on a high register either, Ace.
Yeah, he sings. Is it me, or do you think he always sounds drunk?
Yeah, he just sort of almost talks the words.
He's like, I'm so tired.
Yeah. And it's very unfortunate, and I'm very sad at the fact that he's using backing tracks. It's cheapening the brand, which is in effect my bottom line, because I still get paid for Kiss on merchandising and whatever else they do, and I'm pissed off about it. Now, do you think people are not buying Kiss merchandise because Paul's voice is rough now?
I don't think that has any bearing.
He sang rough tonight. Fuck that. I was going to buy a shirt, but you know what? Not now.
I don't think it has any bearing at all on it.
That's a dumb statement.
It is.
I mean, if somebody wants Kiss stuff, they're not going to buy it based on the performance, whether Paul sang pitch perfect or not.
No, not at all.
That's dumb. Frehley added, those guys have been bad-mouthing me since I quit the very first time in 1981, 1982, calling me a drug addict. Well, were you?
Yeah, there's that.
Calling me an alcoholic. Well, were you? Did you sue them for slander? Did you sue them because that was incorrect and they couldn't prove that? So where's the defamation lawsuits there, Ace?
Yeah, that never materialized.
I don't think there were any defamation lawsuits filed because the Kiss camp said that you were an alcoholic and a drug addict.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that take place.
In fact, I think just the opposite. I think it's very well documented that he was.
Yeah. Isn't that what that whole Rock Soldier song is about? Crashing his
crashed his car.
DeLorean?
Yeah.
He crashed his DeLorean?
He must have been sober.
Yeah. Okay. I'm undependable. And then we did the unplugged thing for MTV, and all of a sudden I'm offered millions of dollars to come back to the band. Well, because, you know, the original lineup and the brand is worth more than the band at times, you know.
Yeah.
It's the original.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what happened? Now I'm not a drug addict and I'm dependable. And no, you weren't. From what I heard, at least that's what was put out there, because you weren't in the band after that.
Yeah.
You're not in the band now, are you?
Yeah. They've gone 30 years without, or 25, 30 years without you.
Yeah. When did that he get booted?
97?
Was it that early on? I thought it was
maybe it's 2000. I don't know.
2000. I thought it was around 2000, but
even that's still 25 years ago.
Yeah, 23 years ago. Yep. Now I'm not a drug addict and dependable, and you're willing to take a shot at hiring me again. In fact, they offered me more money than they offered Peter. Okay, so maybe you had a better manager. Maybe you had a better, a negotiator on your part.
Or maybe just your role in the band was more important than Peter's?
I don't know who was representing you. Maybe Peter shortchanged himself.
Yeah.
Who knows? The reunion tour was one of the most successful tours Kiss ever did. Frehley continued. It grossed over $250 million the first year. It was the largest grossing tour that year by any band in the United States and Europe. And I got paid and I said, okay, I'll see you guys. I'm going back to my solo career, that burdening solo career.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they said, no, we're thinking about doing a farewell tour. And I said, okay, what kind of money are we talking about? and it was acceptable. And I said, why not make a few more $1 million? Circling back to Stanley's comments about him, Ace said, let me tell you something, my brother and the fans, nobody knows this, but when I was living in San Diego with my then ex-girlfriend, I got a phone call from Paul, Doc McGee's Kiss manager, and Gene, and we did a conference call and they were asking me to play with them on the stage and they wanted me to play. They wanted to do it. And I said, I'm not getting up on stage with Tommy Thayer, man.
Yeah, man.
If he's wearing my makeup, you expect me to wear makeup? There will be 2 spacemen. Are you crazy? I'll do it if it's just us 4, the original founding members who created something very special. For the last 15 years, they've had other people playing what Peter did, and Tommy's copying every solo I ever wrote and trying to copy my moves and trying to be cool on stage, but unsuccessful. He doesn't look cool on stage.
No, I guess not. Well, Jackal agrees with that statement.
What's that?
That he doesn't look cool on stage.
He doesn't look cool. Unfortunately, but with all the bombs and the smoke and the mirrors, they're getting away with it. Are they getting away with it?
No, I don't think so.
Personally, I didn't give a shit as long as I'm getting paid by them.
That's right.
But as far as what he said on Howard Stern, I'm going to make a statement. He's going to make a bold statement here, Chris.
It's going to be a bold statement.
To Paul
Fuck the classic metal show.
I'm going to make a bold statement to Paul Stanley right now. He said, and Paul, if you're listening, and I'm sure one of your associates in Kiss group are, and I'm telling you that I want a formal apology for what you said and a retraction and an apology within 7 days. If I don't get that within 7 days, I'm coming back on Ed Trunk's show. Ooh, the scary Eddie Trunk.
The Rev could have wrote this.
I know he did. I think Ace hired Black Coffee PR to write this for him.
It's a Black Coffee PR exclusive.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell some dirt that nobody knows about Paul and Gene. Really?
Whoa.
That I've kept to myself because I'm the kind of guy who doesn't talk about this.
Come on.
I like to talk about only the positive stuff.
That's right.
Oh, please. You've read my book. You've read Paul's book. You've read Peter's book. A lot of times those guys are just throwing people under the bus, Frehley noted. I mean, in Paul's book, he even threw Gene under the bus. But I tried to do all I tried to do was have fun, entertaining book with an interesting story. But this is the way I am. I'm not that kind of guy who kisses and tells.
Except you're threatening to.
Right. When it comes to negativity, and we've all done things that we regret over the years, it's there. I have a 120-page manuscript that I wrote after I finished my book. My attorney has it in a safety deposit box. God forbid anything happens to me, because I'm going to unleash the thunder and the fury. There you are. My attorney is instructed to release it to the New York Times, Rolling Stone, API, etc. So they can't intimidate me. Well, if something happens to you, how are they going to intimidate you?
See, this manifesto is so scary.
Yes.
That even in death, it could hurt the remaining Kiss guys.
Right.
That's how fucking scary these words are.
you better not say anything about me live on radio, because then you're totally screwed. Their careers are ruined. You'll never play in this town again, pal.
I'll bet you the Rolling Stone and the New York Times has agents scouring the banks of New York City looking for this safe deposit box.
I'm sure they are.
Sure of it.
Their careers are ruined?
Oh, their careers cannot be ruined.
They're 70-something-year-old guys.
70-year-old guys with $500 million minimum each.
Yes.
Their careers... I don't care if this fucking manifesto profiles 1,000 kids under 5 years old that they were fucking. Their careers will be just fine. They will move to an island somewhere and will not be bothered. There's nothing Ace could have written that's going to ruin these guys' lives.
Right.
And their careers are over December 2nd.
Yeah, supposedly.
Right.
Despite everything that's been said between him and his former bandmates, Frehley acknowledges that would still be willing to share this stage with Stanley and Simmons when Kiss plays their final shows in New York. I was actually hoping that maybe they'd invite me to come back. Oh, well, now you want to play with them for a third time, not because I really wanted to play with them, because we created something that was really special, and I'm the best fit in that band, he said. Always have been and always will. You think Tommy Thayer can do what I do? It's an impossibility. What is it that you do that's so scary great that nobody else could do it?
That's what I always wonder. I just don't hear him as this amazing guitar player. I just don't. And I've argued that with so many of my friends that are guitar players, and they all say that watching Ace on stage made them pick up the guitar. He was one of the guys, and I get all that, that they wanted their guitar to light on fire and float away and all that other bullshit that Kiss was doing.
It was theatrics.
Yeah, but I mean, as a player, where would you put Ace in the history of players? Third? He's not as good as Bruce Kulick as a player.
Right.
I would say he's not as good as Mark St. John.
Okay.
He's probably on par with Thayer. And then was there another one?
I think that's about it, isn't it?
Vinny
Vincent, yeah.
Vinny was probably better in fact, Vinny was definitely better at that time than Ace. So he'd be fourth. He'd be fourth if we're saying Tommy's last. I would say he's fourth best.
Okay.
What do you think? Is that about where you line him up?
I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, he's not Yngwie Malmsteen. He's fucking Yngwie Drunkstein, I guess, according to Paul, not me.
Right.
I don't want a manifesto about the things I've done released, so I better not say anything.
Sure.
All right, well, how about that, huh?
You called down the thunder, well, now you got it.
Yeah, pal. Holy shit.